Hi, I'm just sharing some information here, which I think is vitally important for our planet. And I think every scientist that's involved, like in marine science, geologists, people studying our magnetosphere and stuff, you all need to get on board with this. And as I say, it's so serious, and I've made this connection. I can barely believe that the connection hasn't been made, but has been kept quiet because we're talking about $1 trillion trade that's at stake here. So what won't the corporations do to protect that? So what we're talking about is these nodules. So I'm just going to explain what it is. At 5,000 metres depth in the Clarion Clipperton Zone, an AI drone detected electrical currents flowing through rocks on the seafloor. Further analysis revealed these polymetallic nodules were producing oxygen in total darkness, without photosynthesis, without sunlight, breaking every rule we know. The drone found geometric patterns that were changing over time, and scientists realised we might be looking at an unknown geometrical system we're about to destroy through deep-sea mining. Well, what it turns out, and I'll leave you the link to this video, this is what the video explains, is that what they discovered is that there's an electrical current running between these rocks that releases oxygen into that area of the seabed, and all the life there is dependent on it. Okay, and but also it's arranging geometric patterns, because this whole area is also a magnetic field. Okay, it's a geomagnetic field. That's what it is. With the electrical currents, that's what it creates. It's only a small electrical current because it's a combination of what's in the rocks, the iron and stuff, and the salt water how it reacts with salt water. So you can see that this is, a massive finding. And so if we look here now, mining in the Clarion Clipperton Zone. So mining activity in the Clarion Clipperton Zone increased significantly around 2010, while commercial scale extraction has not yet started. The year 2010 marked a turning point when the International Seabed Authority began receiving a wave of new exploration applications from private entities. So, private sector entity in 2010, the first private commercial entities saw exploration contracts to search for valuable polymetallic nodules rich in manganese, nickel, cobalt and copper. Okay. And then if we go on to onto the other site here. So again, this is AI overview. There has been no commercial scale mining in the Clarion Clipperton Zone to date. Extraction in the deep sea zone has remained strictly limited to exploratory tests. Okay. And from 2010 onwards, exploration activity increased dramatically as the International Seabed Authority started issuing exploration licenses in 2011. And the CCZ is located in international waters. Recent independent expeditions, including the SmartX project, have shown that these machine tests have significant impacts. Monitoring the tracks left by test machines at depths of 4,000 metres reveals a 37% decline in animal abundance within the direct paths of machinery, because they've left tracks, and a 32% decrease in species diversity. So they were using, from 2010, they were using, right through to 2011, they were using machines heavy industry machinery to extract these nodules from the seabed, and the tracks left by that, wherever that equipment has been, they found this terrible impact on biodiversity in that region. So putting a few dots together here, if we go back here now and we need to look at this. Let's get it back to the start for you, and I'll increase the sound.
Something massive beneath the Pacific Ocean quietly flipped direction in 2010, and we only just found out. Deep inside the Earth, there's a swirling ocean of liquid metal surrounding our planet's solid core. It moves in patterns that shape our magnetic field, protect us from solar radiation, and keep life on Earth possible. And sometime around 2010, a massive section of it, sitting right beneath the Pacific, reversed course. Just turned around, like a river deciding to flow backwards. Satellites tracking tiny changes in Earth's magnetic field picked up the signal. Scientists pieced it together years later. Here's what makes this wild. This isn't supposed to happen on human timescales. These shifts play out over thousands of years, but this one happened within a human lifetime, maybe even within yours. The planet's engine quietly changed gears and nobody felt a thing, which raises one terrifying question. If it happened once already, what's it doing right now? Something massive beneath the Pacific Ocean quietly flipped direction in 2010.
So, you know, I mean, they're saying 2010, but around 2010, okay, the Earth's magnetic field changed. And this guy, Ray's Astrophotography, is a really great presenter. Again, I'll leave you the link to his channel, but he has depicted here, you know, how the magnetic fields work. The loops are, it's a kind of a loop system that works around the Earth's outer core, okay? And according to my understanding, I think we can't ignore the correlation here. We can't just dismiss it as a coincidence, because if I am right, has the impacts of exploratory mining in the Clarion Clipperton Zone, which is in the North Pacific, directly where this anomaly appears to have occurred, has it had an impact? Because we're talking about a geomagnetic field that those nodules create. Did it have an impact between 2010 and 2011, when the exploration contracts were given out to independent companies to test their heavy machinery, and they did extract material as well? Did that have such an impact that it actually, not just on the marine life, but also on our Earth's own magnetic field, geomagnetic field? And it looks like it's took 10 years for it to start recovering, because in 2020 it started to return to its original direction. Is that what caused it? I think we can't ignore it. We just cannot ignore it. We do need to understand. And before any of these licenses are given out now for full-scale commercial mining of the seafloor, the Pacific Ocean seafloor in the Clarion Clipperton region. Because, like I say, you know, we are talking about a magnetic field that these nodules create. And it is very strange, isn't it, that all these nodules are there? Like, where have they come from? Nobody's even talking about that. So it is, you know, it is very, very serious, because we talk, you know, the more we study our planet, and especially things like our magnetic field and stuff, you know, it is a very delicate system. And if that's, I mean, it has to, it's such a huge area, you know, thousands and thousands of square miles, square kilometres. I mean, it's got to have an impact on what's going on underneath the seabed on Earth's outer core. So I appeal to scientists out there, you know, to please, geology scientists, marine scientists, you know, people who study the Earth's magnetic field, please look at this and, you know, get your own moratorium together, you know, and insist, have a public conference on it. Insist that this just cannot happen, because, you know, these corporations, they're just getting they are way too big for the boots. They've well overstepped the mark, and it is time that it stopped. We need to stop them. For example, you know, Stephan Burns here, another great channel, highly recommend. I'll be leaving you the links to these videos. On Thursday, SpaceX is set to launch 20 of their new gigantic Starlink V3 satellites via Starship into an orbit that immediately incinerates them, raining 40,000 kilograms of space junk down on unsuspecting people. Not only does this disturb sensitive high-altitude atmospheric layers with excess metallic oxides, we've seen large space debris come down before, such that it doesn't fully ablate and could literally hit and kill you on impact. Very unlikely, but possible. And consider this. The V1 Starlink weighs 2,000 kilograms. Sorry, 300 kilograms. The V2, 600 kilograms. The V3 weighs close to 2,000 kilograms. 10,000 Starlinks are already in orbit, and SpaceX wants to place tens of thousands more, each with an operational lifespan of 5 years. Solar storm impacts, geomagnetic storms, often knock Starlinks out of their orbit, causing them to fall and ablate. Not only is there a huge churn on these satellite megastructures already, and even more suspected, but with one big solar storm impact, think Carrington event, and hundreds if not thousands would come down en masse, creating an apocalyptic scene in the skies. Okay, so, you know, you've got Elon Musk here. Who is he? You know, he's a businessman. He's not got much empathy, has he? He's not got much compassion. All he's bothered about is making money, and that's it. And that's all these corporations are. They destroy our planet with their money-making schemes, which humanity hasn't asked for. Humanity has not even been consulted or informed. So, you know, Sir David Attenborough, with your, oh, look, humanity is destroying the planet. I'm sorry, you need to look at the corporations. It's not humanity that's destroying the planet. Humanity did not put all this stuff into space. And I believe that no independent business should be allowed to be putting stuff up into space around our planet, orbiting our planet. No. It's too dangerous. What right have they got? They have no right. They should not be allowed to do it. There isn't enough oversight. You can't just allow the big people, the big strong people, the corporations, to be stamping on the little people when they're obviously really stupid. We don't... The satellites are up there. We don't really even need half of them, actually. We got along quite well before they all came into being. So there's already enough up there. I think we need to put a stop to it. No more satellites around our planet. No more. Because there's a lot of junk floating around out there. And we can't have it. Okay? We can't have destroying marine life that we've not even looked at. We didn't even know these species existed. And already just by exploring the area and allowing exploratory harvesting of them to test out the machinery, we've already destroyed, well, not we, the corporations have already destroyed it, part of it. So we now have to save it. So whether or not the Clarion Clipperton Zone, what's been going on there with the mining and exploratory mining and stuff, and the anomaly in the magnetosphere in that region, whether or not they are actually related, it don't make no difference. We've already found that just exploration has destroyed 32%, 37% of the life and the biodiversity there. That should be enough to say no. No, no, no. $1 trillion, go away. Okay? We've got a beautiful planet. We need to start looking after it. And we need to tell these corporations, all you corporate people, where to get off, right? And the only way that we're going to do it, the people on the ground, our duty is to stand up for your human rights and stand up for international law. That's it. That's what we need to do. Forget your anti-Zionism stuff, okay? Because, just standing up for your human rights is an act of anti-Zionism, because Zionists are fundamentally opposed to them. So, and to international law as well. They don't recognise international law. They don't recognise human rights. We've witnessed that, what's going on in Palestine. If you want to help the Palestinian people, if you want to help the Lebanese people, the people of Iran, yourself, even the Jewish people, okay, and Israel even itself, you need to stand up for your human rights and international law. That's what we need to do. All these different protests for this, that and the other, you need to unite. Unite under the banner of human rights and international law, because that was the Great Reset after 1945. That 2 world wars won. We cannot forget the lives lost, the suffering, the how many centuries before that, the slavery, and we need to now say, no, we stand firmly, and you unite to do it. Forget your social differences, because we're talking about our planet on the line here. We're talking about our children, the future of our species. And all you people that, oh, well, I'll be dead then. Well, half the world believes in reincarnation, and there's enough evidence for it as well. So, Jesus said, think about the afterlife, right? What are you going to be coming back to? Or is there going to be anything here for you to come back to? We all need to think about this, okay? Because, we are approaching the point of our psychological evolution, and it happens consciously, and it means consciously realising a few facts in life, and not just carrying on gliding on the myths that we're being fed and the lies. So we need to stand up and stop all of this. The corporations need to be brought down to line, and there does need to be restrictions on what gets unleashed onto our planet. Okay? So, I hope that people will share this video, especially with people. There's this as well, a geological model of polymetallic nodule deposits in the Clarion Clipperton Zone. And I'm not sure when this study was done. I don't think I could see a date. Oh, 2010. Yeah. But it's only recently that they've discovered about how these nodules work. You see, that they are an electrical geomagnetic field. So, you know, I ask people to please watch the videos that I've shared here, and do inform others, and do stand up for your human rights and international law. So, you know, I send my love to everybody, and every scientist out there, there does need to be a moratorium on this immediately, because 2026, this year, is the year that the UN will be giving out its first licenses for commercial extraction